Welcome to the game. Okay, so for this Let's Paint, we're going to paint our battle mechs from the Battletech starter box. The Game of Armored Combat comes with 8 mechs, and this is my test mech. My battle force is 300 points, and it's going to have basically all of those models plus the one out of the beginner box. And it's basically for, we're doing a Gen Con at home thing, so we're having a big Alpha Strike battle. So I need to get these up and painted, and it just happens to be Wednesday, and we start tomorrow. So we're gonna see how fast we can get these done. We're gonna keep it as simple as possible, minimal colors, but still getting a pretty decent tabletop look. That's what we do here, we paint for tabletop. So if you've got a bunch of gray battle mechs or battle mechs that you haven't painted yet, you know, this technique will get you stuff done pretty quick. We've done, with a light gray, kind of going for a Clan Ghost Bear thing. I'm working on that for another set. And tried a different one just to try different colors to see what we liked. I decided to go ahead and go with the green. Kind of a Jade Falconish thing, but not fully. So, colors that we're going to use is, our base color is Contrast Warp Lightning. Contrast paints are going to make this go really fast. Then we're going to use the Black Templar. Black Templar will be for the gun, the window screen. We're going to basically do everywhere that we're going to have some of the metal show through. Will all be done in black first. So the joints, the gun, things like that, all the weapons. Then we're going to hit it with gunmetal. So once we have the gunmetal, it'll be a dry brush for a lot of it. Some of this metal sheen that you see is a dry brush, and we'll cover the weapons with it as well.
So to do the window screen was first done with a Dragon Red, and then for the highlight we used Lava Orange. And that's just to give it, you know, some variation off the black. On the back side we used the Demonic Yellow from Army Painter, and then used a little bit of Lava Orange just to give it a little bit of highlight, just to add some different color and more dimension to the model. The model is heavily green, but you know, we wanted to break that up a little bit. So this is our test model. We'll do the base later. It's just going to be all black, but we'll do it when we finish up the other models. But for right now, we have all of these to get done as fast as possible. We basically have an afternoon to get it done, and watch and follow along, and we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so we are going to batch paint these. We're going to start with the Warp Lightning Green contrast paint. And I'm going to use my big brush, just because we got to cover a lot of area quickly. So get some on, don't overfill your brush, but you know, get enough on there. You're going to spread it around a lot, and just get it all over the model. The contrast paints, they have an issue where sometimes they'll pull back off of the primer. They're primed with gray cere, but sometimes it'll pull back. Even though you think you've gotten the area, you'll come back to it a few seconds later, and it's, you know, you can see the primer underneath it. So get a lot of it on there, then kind of come back and take it off. Normally, when you see me using the contrast paints, I use it with a smaller brush, and I use it to coat areas, you know, to actually use it as a paint by itself, like you would a normal paint. This is when we're actually doing it, you know, what it's designed for. Cover the whole model, let it dry, let it sit in the recesses, and let it do its work. I mean, that's what its main thing is to let you know, cover things quick. So we're going to batch paint these. We're going to go through all 8 bottles, and hopefully by the time we get to the last one, these first ones will have started drying. So I'm going to speed it up, let the music take over, and be back when we move on to the next color. Okay, I've had to let the models dry, but I wanted you to see this. See, this is what I was talking about. You can kind of see these little really light green spaces where it doesn't look like you got the paint, and you know you covered it. You saw it previously. This thing was coated, but for some reason the contrast paints just kind of pull back. So something you need to keep an eye out for. This catapult really has an issue where you can see it. But, you know, just go back over it gently and kind of blend it back in, and then let it dry again before you move on to the next color. Alright, so Black Templar. We're going to do the windshields, the weapons, the joints, anywhere on the model where you think it'd be dark, really dark, just to break up the model a little bit. You'll hear me say that multiple times. But this one, we're going to do the windshields because we're going to come back with the dragon red and the lava orange on the windshields. And we want to get the joints black because we're going to come back and dry brush those with gunmetal. We're going to quickly touch all the different weapons with the Black Templar. We'll dry brush those again with the gunmetal. And as we go through this, I kind of did these in batches of 4. I did the smaller models than the larger. But to kind of show you the different things, I'm going to try to show you the different mechs as I kind of describe the different things. So you won't necessarily see the same mech through this entire video. Hopefully I'll vary it to where you get to see, you know, at least a majority of them. Okay, what I'm doing here is any of the areas that I want the yellow to show up, I'm going to put some gray sear, the base paint, back down. It's not, the yellow just doesn't show up well on top of the green, and the gray sear base will allow the yellow to show. So it's, you know, it just makes sense. We'll come back and touch it. You can see little areas where I kind of got the gray sear on some of the green. We'll touch that up again. And in the end, it hopefully will all look great. Okay, so now the demonic yellow. It's just going to go over all the different places that we had just covered with the gray sear, like the vents in the back, and just some other areas around the models, just where wanted some color variation. Again, we're just trying to break up the the green that's all over it, just to vary it a little bit. All right, now that we have the yellow where we want, we're going to use the lava orange. And this is a different orange. This is a fiery orange from Vallejo, lava orange, whatever. I just picked this one because it's a little, it's an air paint, and it's already watered down. And it just fits right into those areas. It just flows right in. Didn't even have to mix it with water or anything. So everywhere that you painted the yellow that you want the orange to stand out, make it look like a jump jet or anything, give it a little fire just to kind of break up the model. We're just going to go back and we're going to touch it up with the orange and kind of give it a lighted glow. Very simple, very straightforward. Just fill it in there. It'll kind of pull back from the sides to let the yellow show around the sides, orange in the middle. Yeah, we'll get that done. All right, Dragon Red. Now, this is going to be our base color for the orange, mainly for the mech windshields. So as you can see right here, we're going to lay it down. Wish it was a little bit brighter so you could see it, but not going all the way to the edge because we want the black around the edges. I just wanted the red more towards the center. On these real thin ones, I just kind of painted the red in there, and then we'll come back and we'll dot it with the lava orange later. But you'll see, and as when we get to the end, hopefully you'll be able to see it much more clearer, that the red doesn't go all the way to the edges. It's just in the center, more towards the center of the windshields. But still covers quite a bit because I want a thin line of the orange in the center to give it that final highlight. All right, now the lava orange. Now, why the difference? Because the lava orange army painter, it's thicker. The Vallejo fiery orange is more watered down. I needed the thicker paint to really give a line. Otherwise, you're going to have to do multiple coats of fiery orange, which is okay. If that's what you've got, use it. You just have to go over it multiple times. I'm going for speed, so I needed the paint that's a little bit thicker. I did thin it down slightly with water, but it's not nearly as thin as the Vallejo Air. But as you can see here, I'm just dotting or putting a line down the center of my red, just to give it that final highlight. Just be careful with this, and if you mess up, wipe it off quickly because the red should already be dry. All right, time for gunmetal. Now we're going to dry brush very lightly over the green and a little heavier on the black areas of the model, just to give it that metallic sheen over the black, but just to kind of help, again, break up the green a little bit on the edges to make it look a little more metallic. It is a giant battle mech. Okay, so as I mentioned before, now that the yellows and the reds have all dried, I'm just coming back with the warp lightning to just touch up those areas where the gray sea air or the yellow got a little away from where I wanted to. Just touching up the edges to make them green again. All right, and our final step is Black Templar on the base. Normally I flock the base of stuff, and I may come back and do that, but in the interest of time and getting these done, again, I have an event the next day to use all of these. We just decided to go ahead and do it straight black. And there you have it. Total video recording time was about 3 hours, 45 minutes-ish, including drying time. You know, that's why I cut this down to, I don't know, about 17 minutes. Anyway, hope this helped. I think the models came out pretty good, considering that they were all painted in an afternoon, but it shows you what you can do with the contrast paints, and if you just dedicate the time, you can knock out, you know, a lot pretty quick. So hopefully this helps. Not going to win any awards. That's not the point. The point is to get something painted and on the tabletop quickly. Again, please like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this will inspire you to get those plastic gray models painted. You can see how quickly you can get something done.